Hey everybody. So I've had a few questions about the enclosure that I created for my E4. The first thing that you're going to notice is the bed on the E4 has been extended. So this is not the standard E4 that you're used to seeing on BobsCNC. There is an extension kit that you can actually put together and essentially make this cut 24 inches by 48 inches. So this enclosure that I actually created was mainly for controlling the dust, but also to knock down some of the noise created by the spindle. The size of the enclosure is 66 inches. 66 and a half inches long by 39 and a half inches wide, and it is 24 3/4 inch tall. Created this out of 5/8 inch board. I do have 4 fans are actually in the enclosure. 2 of these fans are drawing air in, and 2 of the fans are actually drawing air out. So we actually are trying to get some of the dust out of the enclosure, but also fresh air in. One of the pitfalls that I actually had was getting the hose positioned correctly, so no matter where the gantry was, the hose was not binding and stopping the gantry from actually moving around. So it took a little bit of time to figure that out. As well, one of the things that I did was actually make the front lip of the enclosure so that it actually folds down. The main reason I did that is so when I need to actually do any upgrades or working on the E4, if I need to pull it out, it's much easier to pull it out rather than trying to pull it over the top of this lip. So for me, it made much more sense to put one of these in and lock it into place. And then that way the lips actually stays in place. And then as well, when needed, you can actually drop it down and actually work on the machine as needed. One of the other things I actually did was cut a access hole to the back. There are times I am actually cutting items that are larger than the 24 by 48 inches that this machine will cut. So it makes it easier for me to put the door in when not being used. But when I need to actually cut, I can actually cut the machine or take this out so I can actually put in larger boards to do larger cuts. You also notice I put a pinstriping around the inside area so I know exactly where the machine can cut. So makes it much easier to know for certain what areas you're not going to get an alarms on the machine. So I actually put pinstriping on the inside, making it much simpler for me to just lay the board down rather than having guesswork, getting the thing started, and then having an alarm on the machine and having to start over. One of the other things that I actually did was for some home automation, so I don't actually have to turn on the spindle in my shop vac at the same time, as I actually have some old X10 hardware here, so I can actually kick on the spindle and the shop vac, or I can turn on my lights either in the enclosure, or I can also turn on the fan within the enclosure just by pushing a button. So for me, it just made it much easier to be able to control everything rather than have to have go moving around the machine trying to turn them on and off. So it just was a much faster process for me. So I hope this was helpful. If you have any questions, please feel free to message me, and I will do my best to help out. Thanks a lot.